Hi guys, and welcome to lesson 2 of our improvising level 1. In this lesson, we're going to look at applying eighth notes and whole notes and half notes to the root note and taking that through our progression. So when you're ready, grab your guitar and let's get going.
Now, if you're ready to commit to your guitar progress, then head on over to the YJ Club to get full access to every single course, as well as complete customized pathways, moving tab and speed builder, our progress tracking, an amazing student community, and monthly reviews with our mentors. Give all of this a go with our 14-day free trial, and your future guitar self will thank you.
The reason we've started with breaking everything down to only having one note is because people often forget to think and practice their rhythm. So they get their scale and they get all their notes and they start flying through, and immediately they start having questions of how do they actually make it sound like anything. Without an understanding and a feeling for the rhythm, you're going to run into that problem pretty quickly. That's why we're building this up from the ground. So to start with, we're going to take 3 basic rhythms: quarter note, half note, and a whole note. And if you're unsure what those are, a quarter note is a note that lasts for an entire beat. So the count from, say, beat 1 to beat 2. You'll have heard people counting in to songs before: 1, 2, 3, 4. That's them laying out the tempo and setting out the beats. So the space of 1 all the way up to 2 would be 1 quarter note. A half note then is 2 of those beats, 1 and 2, so 1 all the way up to 3. And a whole note is 1 all the way up to 4. So that would just be holding that one note over all the entire bar. So again, just to reiterate, quarter note would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can move it around to start on any beat that I want. It's never going to sound bad that way. Half note would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And the silence, exactly where you start that silence, is very important to shaping your phrases and shaping the rhythm. So 1, 2, 3, 4 would be another idea. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So you there, the rhythm went across the bar line. We connected 2 bars rhythmically. Key concept again. Lastly is the whole note, which is 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or to take that idea of connecting 2 bars, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and you stop there. Okay? So simple rhythms, but before you move on, I want you to make sure you're really clued into the names of each of those rhythms and exactly how long they last for. They're going to form the basis of what we're going to build here rhythmically. So I'm going to give you a quick demo of just using these rhythms, and you're going to find it very difficult to create stuff that feels good. Confidence is the key. Make sure you're hitting the beats that you want. Have a listen to what I'm going to do here, and then we're going to try some stuff together. Okay, so the core idea of it is going to be about momentum, what I would call momentum. And the idea is that the smaller the rhythm that you use, so whole notes would be at the top of the hierarchy, then half notes, then quarter notes. The smaller and the further down that hierarchy you go, the more momentum you are imposing onto the track. And improvising, a lot of it is going to do with tension and release, both melodically, the notes you choose, and rhythmically. So you very easily can fall into a trap of just playing a very limited range of rhythmic phrases. which is very quickly going to sound super boring. A lot of the players that you really like when you listen to them, the reason you like them isn't the note choices, because they all use, most of them would use a pentatonic, so there's not that many notes. It's going to be the way they arrange those notes and the rhythm that they apply to them. When you've listened to them, you're feeling the rhythm that they're imposing. That is the idea that we're going to try and get broken down here. So you heard me, when you're listening back to what I just did, and this is improvised, I'm just making this up as we go. Ask yourself, can I hear where the eighth notes, or sorry, where the quarter notes are? Can I hear which ones are whole notes, which ones are half notes? If you answer yes, the next question is, can you do that? So if you put the backing track, which is provided for you, if you put that track on, can you play those different rhythms? And can you play them from the beat that you want to start? So that's going to be anywhere in the bar, 1 to 4. You can start it on any of those beats. We're going to hold off starting them off the beat. That's going to come later. For now, can you play quarter notes when you want? Can you play whole notes when you want and half notes when you want? So what we're going to try is playing the backing track, and I'm going to call out for you what rhythms to play, and we'll try what beat you're going to try them on as well. Okay? So just navigating your understanding, your ability to perform these rhythms the way you want. The note we're going to use for this is 7th fret of the D string, which is an A, the root note of the progression. So just this note, and we're going to try and play some rhythms together. I'm going to call out the rhythms we're going to play, where to play them, and see if you can follow along and execute them properly. Okay, so we're going to start with a quarter note. No. We're going to start with a whole note. So just on beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, whole note. Just let it ring the whole time. Make sure it's directly on beat 1. And you hear how the chord progression moves around the note, and it's always going to sound like it works, okay? Not particularly rhythmically inspiring, but space in your rhythm is just as important as the notes that you do play, right? Okay, let's move to some half notes. So 2 beats each. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you hear how the rhythmic momentum I was talking about before, as soon as we move to half notes, it feels like there's more energy starting to build. Okay, let's go to quarter notes. Very simple. Just get them relaxed, make sure they're staying in time with me playing them. Right? So now, of course, you're going to go delirious doing this for 10 minutes straight. That's not the point. Okay. Now, let's try moving them around. If you're able to follow that easily and understand everything we're saying, then we're going to try now playing on different beats, different parts of the beat with different rhythms. We're going to start with half notes starting on beat 2. Okay, so we're going to go beat 2, then we're going to have to hit beat 4 after that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then we'll stop and change it again. Beat 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, right, let's leave it, and we'll try a whole note starting on beat 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll try some quarter notes now on different beats, and quarter note rests. Rests is going to be nothing for the exact amount of time that your normal note lasts for. And rhythm is going to comprise of both something and nothing at the same time. They're both equally valid, and we have to be able to weave in and out of those as we go. Let's start with a quarter note to a half note. Starting on beat 1 and just repeating that round. 1, 2, 3, 4, quarter note, half note. 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So a nice jumpy rhythm, bit of momentum. Let's try pushing this one beat over. So we're going to start on beat 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Do you hear how the shape of the phrase is now changed by taking the exact same rhythm and shifting it over? Let's try it again. We'll start on the 3rd beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right? Different again. Let's try a half note to an eighth note, or a half note to a quarter note even. So swap it around, starting to beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Let's try shifting it over to the second beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So hopefully what you're starting to hear is the difference between things starting on beat 1 and things shifting over into the bar. Immediately, the very first thing you can do with rhythmic phrases to make them more interesting is to not start on beat 1. Leave that as a rest and then jump in somewhere else. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you can be playing and leave a bar of nothing, just as a nice breath of fresh air into the phrases that you've been playing. So that's a quick look at combining some of these rhythms and trying to get them really fundamentally part of your playing. Make sure you understand what it is you're doing before you jump on to the next lesson. Try play along with me with those rhythms that we chose. And of course, after every lesson in this, I'm going to encourage you to take what we just done and try and play over this backing track and add in the things as we go. So for this lesson, that was quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. And most importantly, be able to jump in and out of those, any combination that you can think of. There is no wrong combinations. And try to vary where you start the rhythms. You notice you can make nice recurring phrases by just taking, say, a whole note to a half note or a half note to a quarter note and just looping that rhythm for a few bars. You kind of establish a rhythmic phrase, and then when you move away from it, it's a little bit of that tension and release we spoke about. You have to try and keep varying the rhythms, but in a way that somewhat calls back to what you've played. You don't want to just be doing stuff at random, right? You have to be conscious of where you're putting these rhythms and trying to make them sound and flow well for one another. So that's enough of my conceptual ramblings. When that stuff starts to make sense, then come join me in the next lesson when we're going to look at adding eighth notes. We'll see you then.